Hey everybody, it's Jason from the Texas Gun Vault, and once again I'm coming to you with another range report. And today's range report is going to be on the Sig Sauer P226 TacOps. Now this is an upgraded version of the P226, which I have on many occasions mentioned that I think this is one of the best double-stack 9mm firearms that has ever been designed and manufactured. And I think many people will agree with that. This is a time-tested, proven design used by military and police all over the world. This particular example is on loan to the channel from my good friend Sam, who has lent the channel a few other guns, so thank you, Sam. I also want to thank all of my Patreons as always. You guys keep the lights on around here, and I'm humbled that you think my content is worthy of your support. And as always, my primary sponsor for all of these range reports, who provides the ammunition so I can bring you this content, Brownworks. Brownworks is a grip company that makes and manufactures a ton of different grips for a number of different firearms. Everything that is made is custom one-off. He can add logos and specialty finishes to any type of grip that you can possibly imagine. If there's something that is not on his website, contact Mark, the owner and the big supporter of the Texas Gun Vault, and say, hey, I'm looking for grips for this particular type of gun. What can you do? I guarantee you he will help hook you up. Who knows, maybe you have a Sig Sauer P226 and are looking for some type of specialty grip made out of a specialty wood with a special logo and finished a specific way. I guarantee you Mark can hook you up. He can make any firearm in your collection something special, one of a kind, and really unique. But let's say you're not in the market for grips and you have a modern sporting rifle. As I like to show off one of his newest products, he can now laser engrave modern sporting rifle magazines. Here I have a PMag 30, which he engraved with the Texas Gun Vault logo on both sides. I know you can go to his website, you guys can upload a logo, and he can make any type of magazine engraving that you can possibly want. So all you gotta do is contact him, say, hey, I'm looking for this. I guarantee you he can make it for you. And as I said, if there's something not there that you want to see, contact him and he'll definitely hook you up. He supports the Texas Gun Vault with ammunition for all of these range reports, so I hope you guys go out and support him. And please tell him the Texas Gun Vault sent you. All right, so let's talk about what I know about the Sig Sauer P226 TacOps. Now, this is supposed to be an upgraded tactical version of the P226. Now, I have noticed that some of the more modern versions of this particular firearm have a different front sight and a threaded barrel. This one doesn't have either of those. This one has the standard Signite night sights on this and has a standard barrel. So I'm not sure if those are items that had been changed or there's just different levels of the TacOps. This is just the way this particular firearm was given to me, but all of the other options you will find on the standard TacOps. And many of those are the things that I really like about this firearm, such as this enhanced beaver tail. I really like beaver tails on a lot of these guns. They just seem to fit a little bit better in my hand. I've seen a few other reviewers of this particular firearm say, well, the beaver tail is a little bit big and you worry about it snagging. Well, this is a gun that is designed for tactical operators, and they're usually going to be carrying outside the waistband, so I don't think that's really going to be an issue, but the comfort of that beaver tail and the positioning of your hand on that feels really good, and I really like that. I also like the fact that this gun comes with forward cocking serrations. That is a very, very nice upgrade. And one of the big pros about this gun is it is designed for the extended 226 magazines. I believe these magazines hold 20 rounds, and the grips come down even further than your typical 226. Now, when I was looking up some information and reviews on this, a lot of people were claiming this is the particular 226 that was used for about 25 years in the Navy SEALs. Now, it is my understanding that the Navy SEALs have certain guns that they do requisition. They are still allowed to use any type of firearm that they want. And from my research, the version of the P226 that the Navy SEALs have used is this one right here. This is the P226 Mark 25. has a few different options, does not have the forward cocking serrations, does have a threaded barrel, but the main difference between this and most of the other 226 variations is that all of the internal parts of this gun are coated differently to make sure that they are corrosion resistant, most specifically against salt water. That's what I understand is the big thing, and it also has a little anchor here on the side and a UID tag. That's just something special that they do, and this particular one was provided to me from Carolina Laser Works. My original one actually fell off. They're kind of a vinyl one. This is an actual metal one. So Carolina Laser Works does a great job with all of these UID tags. Go check them out as well. But this is my personal 226 Mark 25. So people claim that this is the particular gun that the SEALs use. As I said, from my understanding, it's the Mark 25. But who knows, maybe a few of these did see service, and maybe somebody who's a viewer of my channel who was in the SEALs can tell me, did you guys carry this? And which version did you carry? I would love to know. Now overall, everything about this gun that I talk about with every SIG is the same thing I like and don't like. And really the only thing about this particular gun that I have an issue with, and it's not even a big issue, is that the bore axis of all these P-series guns from SIG are just very high. So when you even have a very high grip on the gun, the bore axis is high, and I find that these flip a little bit more than your standard guns from many other companies. And that's really the only issue that I have. Another thing too, and I just remembered that this gun has that I really like, is the SRT trigger, or short reset trigger. The triggers on stock SIGs, I don't think are that good, but the SRT ones are absolutely fantastic. I can't tell you how short and clean that reset is. It might have a little bit of a fidgety wall. I can't always feel it, but that reset is always super duper short. And I think it is a worthy upgrade on any SIG pistol that you get. So that's kind of what I know about it, what I like and don't like. So let's get this thing to the range and let's put its first rounds through it. Well, it's not really its first rounds. I know this is a used gun. I'm not sure what the actual round count is, but I can tell you all of these SIG P-series guns are like tanks. They all shoot the same and they're great right out of the box, or they have been for me. So let's just get to the range. I'm gonna set the target up at 7 yards, put 15 rounds through it. I'm just curious to see if it's accurate, if it's reliable, and how the recoil impulse is with this SRT trigger. So let's see what happens. Well, I'm really happy with those results. This is an exceptionally accurate firearm, and it's very low recoiling with an outstanding trigger. That SRT trigger is great. Now, it didn't flip as much as I was expecting. Now, it is a full metal framed firearm, plus Sam has outfitted this with a laser light combo, which is going to add a little bit of weight to the front of the gun and prevent it from flipping, which I think a lot of people that would buy this gun and use this in some type of tactical situation probably would do. So far this thing feels great, and like all other SIGs, it has that Cadillac recoil because this gun has that full-length rail on it. It's not just has 4 points of contact like you typically see in a Glock. That rail goes the full length of the frame, and I really feel it kind of gives it a very smooth action. You definitely feel a difference when you shoot it. All right, well, I'm going to set the target out at 15 yards, kind of double the distance of the last test. I'm just curious if I can shoot this gun accurately at further distances with these particular sights. I think this is a very accurate gun with a great trigger, so I'm expecting pretty good results. I'm going to put 10 rounds through it and go for the head on this IDPA target just to see what happens to the group. All right, so as expected, the group did open up just a little bit and I had a single flyer, but everything else was on target. I'm really happy with the accuracy of this particular pistol. Now, I will say when I take my time with it, as I mentioned before, the wall is not as defined. For some reason, I can't feel it as well. I'm not 100% sure every time where it's going to break. So when I take my time and try to really go for accuracy with it, the group is going to open up just a little bit, but for combat accuracy and for general accuracy, it is right on. I'm really happy with how this thing is shooting. Well, I'm also going to give my wife Becky a shot to shoot this. She loves all these pistols that come through the Texas Gun Vault, but before she shot it, she had a couple of concerns. She said that from standing behind the gun and filming me, this gun had a very loud report, louder than most other pistols that I shoot. I didn't notice that shooting it myself, so I don't know why she was saying that, and we had already shot a number of different guns that particular day. Something else that also concerned her was the size. She still kind of believes that the bigger guns are going to recoil more, and we all know that is a myth. But she wanted to shoot it anyway, so I think she's going to like it, but she doesn't think she is. Well, let's see what happens. Well, I think she shot it pretty well, but she said it was a great gun to shoot and that with a little bit of time and practice, she could get really good at it because it felt so good in her hands. For her, the most important aspect of this gun was the grip. It was very ergonomic for her. Even though it is a full-size gun and a full-size grip with her small hands, just the way this is kind of molded and designed, it felt great for her. And I even noticed when I was filming that portion, she was not having to adjust her left hand as much. Many times when she's shooting a pistol, she has to readjust it. This one she didn't do that much with. So I knew while she was shooting it, she was having a good time and she was going to like it. So if you have smaller hands, I really think you would like this full-size gun. Not all full-size guns accommodate smaller hands. My larger hands, it works great too. So I think from a design standpoint, this grip is fantastic. I also like the texture of these grips. They're not too aggressive, but they definitely give you a little bit of stickiness and a nice purchase. So good on Sig for that. So I'm happy with how those feel as well and why I also think Becky liked it as much as she did. Well, I have one more test that I'm going to do here at the range. And so every time I have a gun at the range that is double action, single action, I always want to put one magazine through it with double action only. Because a lot of times when it comes to these double action, single action firearms and you're using that double action as the initial safety, if the double action pull is too heavy or too long, it can throw off that first shot. And sometimes that first shot really matters. So you want to make sure that the double action on your DASA gun is really nice. These SR triggers I think are really good. And from just dry firing it here in the garage, it doesn't feel as heavy as other double action triggers. So I'm going to put another magazine through this and I'm going to lower the hammer every time with the manual decocker, which all of these SIGs have, and we're going to see what happens to the group. And like with the accuracy portion of this range report, I had one flyer as well. But the double action pull on this is really light, and I felt like I was still able to be very accurate with this gun using double action only. So I cannot speak higher of this factory SRT trigger. I think that any SIG that you buy needs to have this trigger in it, especially if it's one of the P series, you know, the P220, 226, 228, so forth. Get the SRT trigger. It is well worth the upgrade. SIG designed it exceptionally well, and I don't really think you need to go with some type of aftermarket option. I think the SRT is great right out of the box. So what are my final thoughts on the Sig Sauer P226 TacOps? Is it worth it? Is it worth that much more than the standard P226? Well, in my opinion, it is. I really think they give you a lot of options and none of the options that you don't need. So the front cocking serrations, those are really nice. You can get it with a threaded barrel or maybe a non-threaded barrel. Supposedly there's now a sight upgrade as well. You get the beaver tail, you get 4 extended magazines. I was looking on their website, which is a huge deal. That is a lot of value right there, right out of the box. Plus you get the known SIG P226 reliability. So this is not a gun that I would say is a target gun. It is not a plinking gun, even though for me it was exceptionally accurate. This is a self-defense tactical firearm. And I think SIG did a fantastic job upgrading the P226 in this particular package. If you don't want to go with, let's say, the Mark 25 or want something more specific like that and are just looking for a very nice tactical offering without having to go to a lot of aftermarket parts, the P226 TacOps is the way to go. So on my star rating, how would I rate the Sig Sauer P226 TacOps? Well, it didn't really exceed my expectations because I already expected the gun to do really well. I will tell you that it was more accurate than I was expecting, and it's more comfortable in my hand than I was expecting. Because of that, I can easily give it 4.5 stars out of 5. It just didn't exceed my expectations, but that's because my expectations for the gun were already so high, and having shot so many of the P series from SIG and owning a number of them myself, I just know how they shoot. So I don't know if this one necessarily offers anything that the other models don't. It is just an exceptionally high quality offering, double stack, full size firearm with an all metal frame and is well designed, very reliable, and also has a great history. So 4.5 stars out of 5. So what do you guys think? Do you guys own a P226, and more specifically the P226 TacOps? And what do you guys think? Is it worth the extra price to get one of these? Or do you prefer another model of the 226? They offer so many of them, and this is one of their more popular tactical offerings. So let me know in the comment section below what you think. And thank you, Sam, for letting me borrow this. This has been an absolutely fantastic firearm to shoot, and I'm so glad I got some range time with it. So let me know what you all think in the comment section below. And as always, thanks for watching.